Hey guys, it's Sam with two M's, and welcome to this MYXclusive interview. As you guys can see, I have a very special guest here with me. He is a super talented artist who's always been giving us vibes with his music, especially with his most recent rendition of Air Supply's Lost in Love. And he's here so we can catch up with him, talk about his music, and so much more. So everyone, please welcome Miguel Odron.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Sam.
Hi, Miguel. It's nice to see you again, as I keep saying, kanina pa. Even though virtually. Well, last time I saw you, Apala, was real life. So how have you been since the last time I saw you? What's new in your life?
I've been good. I mean, nothing's really changed all that much. I've just been staying home and trying to work on my music, and that's pretty much it for me.
Yeah, I mean, music is life. Oh, well, thank you for asking. I have a dog now, so that's new with me. I just showed you a while ago. But yeah, so thank you for asking. But you said you've been working on music. How's that been for you working on music, especially recently? I know, kind of like the world is kind of going at a better pace now-ish, kind of. So how is it working on music now?
Yeah, I really have. I always tell like my fellow artists that like for me to be able to write, I have to live, and so I've had like -1 year of living that I haven't done. Yeah. It's been really hard to like try to like be inspired to write about experiences that I haven't gotten the chance to have in this last year. But you know, you just have to write. I've started writing about other people's lives. So that's been fun.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love that. I mean, that's understandable, especially with everything that's been going on, to get inspiration from other places too. But I want to ask Miguel, what was like the last thing or the last thing that you experienced that actually really made you feel like you were alive, or like, oh my God, like this is something super like, oh yeah, life's so great.
I got the chance to go to Siargao again in December last year, and you know that place. There's like I forget the place, but it's like a river, and then there's like a bent coconut tree where people like
that you can swing.
Yeah, you can swing.
Yeah.
There were a bunch of like local kids there, and when I got there, they could tell I wasn't from the area. They all like got off the tree so I could do it. And it's really hard. That is really hard. Like it's super slippery, and like you try to like climb on the coconut pole thing, and then you just like slide.
Yeah, you try to move.
And these kids are so good at it. They literally like they don't. Sometimes they go up there and they don't even grab the rope. They just like jump straight off of the coconut tree.
Yeah.
So it was fun to get laughed at by local kids watching me like slide off of this tree. But yeah, it felt really nice to like, I don't know, just have a semblance of like normal for a couple seconds.
For sure, I can imagine, and I totally know that. I've also been there, and you know, like some people will do flips and like,
oh my God,
right? Yeah, like even if it's their first time, they'll be like, okay, this is so easy. And then when you try to do it, it's like, oh my God, like how did they even?
It looks so much higher when you're actually up there than it does.
Yeah. So. Yeah, and even just hanging itself is so hard already. You're like, oh my God, at least 2 seconds, please. But yeah, I totally get what you mean. That's so great that you had the opportunity to go back to Siargao very recently. But I do also want to talk about something that you did in Siargao as well. So recently you put out your own reimagination of Lost in Love by Air Supply, which is like a classic song. But I do want to ask, like, did you listen to a lot of Air Supply when you were growing up? Was it something like your parents listened to a lot in your household?
You can't really avoid it, right? I mean,
that's true.
They're so gigantic that like you just can't avoid. So I feel like their songs have been a part of everybody's life, like in one way or another, and I think that's why it was really scary for me to even attempt to like do an Air Supply song. Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine. Like all of us, we hear it like in very random places too, and it's just something like I feel like Air Supply songs are songs that everyone just knows for some reason too. But what was your reaction when Tarshir actually approached you with the idea to be part of a tribute for Air Supply?
I was like, it took a couple of minutes for what Murray, like the head of Tarshir, she was like, Miguel, we want you to cover an Air Supply song. And it took a couple of minutes for it to sink in because it's just like Air Supply. It's hard to get past like the Air Supply thing. And then hearing that around the time that Murray asked me, I think Inigo had just released his. I'm not actually sure, but Inigo had released another
All
Air
Out of
Supply.
Love.
All Out of Love, yeah.
Well, yeah.
And just getting interviewed like with Air Supply, like.
Oh yeah, that was
like,
me.
Oh, that was you? Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's insane. I can't even imagine like having to discuss like the song that you covered with the people that you covered it from. Like it's so insane. Like, but I think the pressure kind of like got lighter when I realized when Murray told me that, oh, we don't want you to like try to do better. We just want you to make it sound like you. So I think I was like, I can do that. You know, it doesn't have to be great, but like it can at least sound like me. So that's what I just try to do. Try to make it sound like.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. I mean, also when I asked Inigo in that interview that you mentioned in front of Air Supply, I also asked him like, oh, like how did you feel about this? Like, you know, there's certain pressures that go with like reimagining a classic song, like songs of Air Supply, and he said the same thing. Like he just really tried to make it his own, but balance it with obviously the things that make it a classic song. So for you, Miguel, how did you kind of make? Actually, before that, I heard that you actually fought for Lost in Love too. Like someone already had dibs on Lost in Love. So what made you want to do Lost in Love as your song for this one?
Yeah, so the Air Supply tribute thing, it's an album that Kashir is doing with a bunch of other recording artists all across Asia. And so like the artists were all like picking which songs they wanted to do.
Dibs,
and somebody had already gotten Lost in Love. And I was like, Murray, like get me that song. Get me that song because I feel like Air Supply songs, they're very hard to sing. Most of them are like super power ballady, and I'm not a very power ballad singer, so I really felt strongly about Lost in Love because it's more of a groove type track, and I really felt like my voice could flow with it easier than something where I would have to like go like 50 miles up at the end. I really fought for that song, and she made it happen. So thank you, Murray.
Oh my God! Shout out to Murray, the true MVP of this one, like giving you Lost in Love. I can imagine too what that was like for her, but amazing. I mean, at least you were able to get the song that you really wanted. So now let's talk about how you actually made it your own, because that's what you said. Like you wanted to make it the way you would make it and you would sing it. So what were the things that you did for your rendition of Lost in Love?
So I was like hanging out in Siargao when I was working on the song, and I guess kind of like the island vibe kind of creeped its way into the song. Yeah, you can hear sort of those like salsa like acoustic elements with a guitar, and there's like breezy sounds, and I don't think it was deliberate, but it just happened to inject itself when I was working on it in Siargao. And I was also, at the time, I had rediscovered this little song from the Pokemon game, Ruby Red. I don't know if you ever played that.
Oh my God. Yes. I love Pokemon.
There's this theme called Rustboro City, and like the first four chords of that song matched exactly like Lost in Love. And so I was hearing like those elements. I was like, I was hearing those elements, and I was like, what if I didn't like rip the Pokemon theme directly off, but I used those same kind of like chiptune Game Boy sounds in the song.
Oh my God, I love that so much more now that you use Pokemon as like kind of like an inspiration for this one too, which is so unique. I feel like of all the artists I've ever interviewed, I've never heard like someone say Pokemon as like it inspired one of their songs, which is so great. And I love that even more about the song. But I can imagine too, like of course, like putting the song together was also quite a trip for you. So how was it putting everything together, like with these elements of like, for example, like the tropics and also like the Pokemon thing that you just mentioned, and also kind of like the essence of the song itself. So what was it like putting everything together?
There's the final song that you hear is actually the third version of the song. So I worked on two other versions of the song for that. One was like very close to the original, and then the second one was very like too far from the original. And so I kind of had to like it was really a process of trial and error, because I feel like when
Yeah.
you're covering such a massive, mammoth classic song, you
Mhm.
really, I mean, you can't. First of all, you can't try to do better than the original, because you can't.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
impossible. And then second, you can't suck. So you have to find,
Of course.
yeah, you have to find where you kind of fit in. And like I had to like remove a lot of the stuff from the original that I can't do with my voice, and I had to like add,
Mhm.
what I can do with my voice into the song.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it was really, I can't like logically, intellectually explain how I made the song, but it just was a process of trial and error. Oh, this doesn't work. Oh, that works. This doesn't
Mhm.
work. That works, until
Mhm.
you had the final song. So
It just like flowed naturally, I can imagine, after trying a lot of different things. But you did mention that there was three versions. So there was one that was really close to the original, the one that we hear now, and one that was super far. So I do want to talk about the one that's a little bit far from the. What was that one like? Now I'm really curious, like what that sounded like.
it sounded too much like a Bruno Mars song, and there's nothing wrong with Bruno
Oh.
Mars, but it was
Mhm.
too like New Jack Swing, like yeah,
Mhm.
it's just too way off, and I wanted it to be more chill. So yeah.
Mhm. Oh, I mean, at least you were able to find the balance. But I'm curious, like, what about the version that we hear now? When you heard it, you were like, okay, I think this is the one. Like, what about it? You were like, okay, we got it.
I'm not. I'm not sure. You know what? That's a really interesting question. I'm not
Mhm.
sure. I just feel like maybe it was when I finally got to the third one. I was just like,
Mhm.
I didn't get that like nauseous vibe that this was wrong, because I did get that for the first two. So I think that was the only thing that like made it pass for me. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh my
I don't know.
God, I
Like
love that. I love that you said you didn't get nauseous after hearing your own song. That's, I think, a great indicator for liking your own song. But out of all of the things that you tried out for your rendition of "Lost in Love," what would you say was your favorite part of creating the song, or a favorite element maybe that you put into the song?
hmm, I think the harmonies are always the most fun for me, but especially
Mhm.
on this song, because I feel like um, it's such a well written song, so it's hard
Yeah.
screw it up. It's really hard to screw it up, because I mean, like, Air Supply just gives you all the possibilities of what you can do just by hearing the song at first
Mhm.
glance. And I think that's
Mhm.
why it took so many versions, because when you first listen to the song, you immediately think of all the options. It was kind of like what's it called? Just overload. Like, there's so
Yeah.
many things to do with it that I couldn't figure out what to do with it. But once I figured it out, I think it was really fun.
Mhm.
The harmonies especially. Yeah.
For sure. I can imagine you tried out a lot of new things for this rendition of Lost in Love too. And I'm sure you also kind of like, as an artist, not just like for this song, you kind of also obviously like experimented by yourself. So what would you say was like something new you learned, maybe like not just about music, maybe about yourself when you created this rendition?
Um, I never thought I would be putting out like a studio release of something that wasn't written by me.
No.
Yeah, this is the first time anybody's ever approached me to get into the studio and record somebody else's song. So
Mhm.
I never thought I would be able to do that, because I feel like as a songwriter, I feel like lyrics come from such a personal space. So I never
Mhm.
felt like if I didn't write, or I never felt like if I didn't write the lyrics that I could pull it off in the studio.
Yeah.
You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So
Yeah. Yeah.
this is the first time that I've ever kind of done that. And I
Yeah.
think I really had to kind of like write the lyrics of the song on a piece of paper and imagine like line per line. Okay, if this song was written by Miguel Odron, how would he do it? What would this
Mhm.
sound like? I really had
Yeah.
to like pretend that the lyrics were my own for me to get
Mhm.
to pull the sound out of it. So
No,
yeah.
yeah, for sure. I totally get what you mean. I mean, I'm not a singer, but I can imagine, like as an artist too, when you're singing something, obviously you have to inject like emotion and like a lot of feelings into it to really deliver the kind of like emotions that people get from the song. So for Lost in Love, how are you able to connect with the words that obviously were not written by you, but written by Air Supply? I mean, you mentioned that you like wrote them down, but on like a personal level, how do you think you were able
Yeah,
to connect to that?
I get what you mean. I don't want to like go too. I don't want to go too deep, but like I'll just say
Mhm.
that like I'm very bad at relationships, and once I
Mhm.
actually like analyzed the words of the song, I was like, oh my god, this song is describing me, like how I am in relationships, and it's like don't get lost in love, don't get lost in this fantasy of what you imagine love to be like, because the
Mhm.
reality of it is really hard and it takes work. Um, I think that's what the song encapsulates. You're lost in love, and
Mhm.
don't get lost in love, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, definitely. And I think that's one of the reasons why like Air Supply songs are so classic, because like despite like the times, it's been quite some time since the song actually came out, but these are lyrics and words that a lot of people can relate to, not just you, Miguel, but all of us. I mean, at one point we're all bad at relationships anyway, so you don't have to worry about that. I feel like we all experience that too. So how does it feel for you, Miguel, to kind of make your own rendition and connect the generations too, like Air Supply and the generation now, like the kids who might not necessarily know who Air Supply is, but get to hear it from you?
Um, I haven't really thought about that. I haven't really thought. People like people from my label have told me, "Oh, it sounds so modern. It sounds so like
Mhm.
so millennial," and I don't think of it that way. I don't know how it sounds millennial because I don't really listen to a lot of current music.
Mhm.
So my references are very very old. Um, but I mean, if millennials are listening to the song, I just hope that they can recognize the same amazing songwriting, because I think when you have a solid song, it's timeless. Like it doesn't matter,
Yeah.
like you said, like from what time it is. Like it's a timeless song. Like the lyrics, the melody, like that melody on "Lost in Love" that just repeats
Mhm.
over and over again. It gets stuck in your head. That's a good song.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Definitely. And I think like it would now everything now, like when they say it's millennial, I feel like because like the generation now, they're obsessed also with kind of bringing back sounds from before and also kind of like
Yeah.
making it their own. So I feel like that's also what they mean by that. And I super love your rendition, by the way. I don't know if I said it, but I super love your rendition of Lost in Love. And it's really nice, like I said, that you're able to connect kind of like Air Supply and also the generation now who might not really know who Air Supply is, but they get to know Air Supply through you. But after this, I'm sure people are even more excited for everything else that you have planned, because obviously this was like a very, very like what you said, you tried a lot of new things for this one too. So what else can we expect coming from you, Miguel? Now that you're writing about other people's lives too in your songs, so what else can we expect from you?
More exciting songwriting, because my life isn't very interesting, but other people's lives are very, very interesting. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, we're not done with Lost in Love yet. We're coming out with a music video, which I think is coming out Monday. What day is it today? Do you know? Is it Sunday?
It is no, it is Tuesday.
Oh my gosh, I am so like
Oh.
I'm so like lost. But it's Tuesday. It's coming out Monday next week at 7 p.m. on the
Mhm.
Tarshir Records channel.
Mhm.
And yeah. Um, Other things, I have an EP coming out with Star Music very, so I hope you guys can look forward to that and save it on your calendar, even though we don't have a date yet.
Oh my God. Okay, those are two very exciting things. So let's dissect them before you go. The first one being the music video. I know you don't want to reveal too much. I know you don't want to spoil the experience for everyone. So what was it like what can we expect at least from the music video of Lost in Love?
Oh, what can I say? A lot of like creatures like flying
Oh,
in
interesting.
the air.
Mhm.
It's a mess.
I
That's all
love
I'm gonna
that.
say.
Okay, that's very vague. I love that. So people are gonna be like, what is Miguel even talking about? But okay, we'll look forward to the music video, guys. That's coming out Monday next week. Care of Miguel, and also Tarshia Records. But also you mentioned that you're releasing an EP very soon. I know you also don't want to spoil it, but what can we expect coming from your EP? Especially I'm sure a lot of your fans are super excited for this too.
I think the people who've been following me since the Idol days are gonna
Mhm.
find that they enjoy on this particular
Mhm.
EP,
Oh.
and also the people who've enjoyed Chevy Cruise,
Mhm.
that kind of stuff. They're also gonna find. So there's something for everybody that's been following me, because I feel like people follow me for different reasons, and like ever since I
Mhm.
came out last year and
Mhm.
in June, people have been following me for an entirely different reason that has nothing to do with my music.
Oh.
So so I would tell, if you're watching right now and you're following me for that reason, like I would encourage you to go to my Spotify and listen to my music, because
Yes.
that's what I'm here for. So
yeah. I agree. Make sure, guys, to check out all of Miguel's music too, and also where can everyone follow you, Miguel, on your social media, just so they can keep up with you and your music specifically too.
Yeah, my music specifically. You can follow me on Spotify, Miguel Odron. You can also follow me on IG, Miguel Odron, and YouTube, Miguel Odron Music. Don't follow me on Twitter. I'm not really very active on there right now. I mean, you can, but I'm not going to be posting for a while. So yeah.
There you go, guys. So make sure to follow Miguel there, so that you guys can keep updated with everything going on in his life, especially his music. But before I do let you go, Miguel, do you have a message to everyone who's been supporting you? We have so many people joining us. Actually, we have people from like Korea and Indonesia watching us right now. Obviously in the Philippines too. So do you have a message for everyone?
Thank you. If you've been a supporter of mine since the beginning or recently, whenever, thank you so much. If this is the first time you're seeing me, I encourage you to like Sam said, check out my music and maybe you like it. I hope you like it. But yeah, thank you so much to everybody who's been with me. And yeah, that's really all I can say. Every time you guys ask that question at the end of every interview, I'm always like, what do I say?
Yeah, it always just boils down to thank you. I feel like that's what everyone usually says, but it's always good to have an attitude of gratitude. You know what they say. So guys, make sure to follow Miguel on his social media once again, so that you can keep up with everything going on in his life, especially his music. But also make sure to follow us, Mix, on all of our social media as well. And also, guys, don't forget, this Saturday you can catch Ben and Ben in concert. This is presented by Kumu Live Events and a Mix. That's happening this May 22 Saturday at 7 p.m. You can get your tickets at www.kumu.live. And you guys can get two kinds. There's general admission tickets and also VIP. The VIP has a meet and greet with Ben and Ben after the show, so make sure to check that out as well. But thank you so much, Miguel, for joining me today on this beautiful... Yes, it's always fun. Yeah, it's always fun. But on this beautiful Tuesday, I also had to think what day it was today. So you're not alone. But thank you so much, Miguel, for joining me. And of course, everyone who tuned into this MYXclusive interview, don't forget to stream all of Miguel's music that's available on multiple digital streaming platforms, especially his newest or latest single, which is his own rendition of Lost in Love by Air Supply. You can also catch the music video coming out next Monday. So that is 6 days from now. On the Tarshi Records YouTube channel, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, thank you so much.
Impeccable memory.
Oh, thank you.
I
pride myself in that.
Thank you so much, Sam.
Thank you, Miguel. And once again, thank you everyone who tuned into this MYXclusive interview. This has been Sam with 2 M's and Miguel Odron.